Welcome, dear readers and the beloved community of Mr. Magazine. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe, click the join button if you want to support our work, and don't forget to leave a comment. Your voice steers the headlines we chase. Today's dossier concerns a relationship that many pronounced finished, yet a single declaration from a legal spokesperson has cracked the facade and reopened a story thought to be closed. Stay with us. The scene is intimate, the emotions are raw, and nothing is quite as simple as it first appeared. A hush has fallen across the entertainment pages after an unexpected public statement by the personal counsel of Halil and Sıla. Where tabloids had begun to prepare for the bureaucratic trappings of a split, a brief but decisive legal remark altered the trajectory of the narrative. Rather than confirming divorce proceedings, the attorney disclosed that no such legal steps were underway. Instead, conversations have pivoted toward the possibility of rapprochement. That single clarification sent ripples through press rooms, talk shows, and social feeds, because reconciliation is a very different story from finality. In a private residence not long ago, the two actors met behind closed doors for what witnesses describe as a marathon of conversation, more than 3 hours, dense with pauses, charged with confession, and punctuated by phrases that would later leak to reporters. Those present recount moments when Halil's voice faltered as he admitted, in essence, that he could not bear the relationship's abrupt termination. Sıla, simultaneously guarded and vulnerable, answered that she remained wounded but willing to listen, an exchange that reframed the episode from rupture to negotiation. Friends who have been granted pieces of the truth say the core of this fragile reunion is not theatrics but an insistence on change. Halil reportedly pleaded that promises alone are hollow without accompanying behavior. "I will not ask you to trust words again," a close associate paraphrased him as saying, "I want to show you by what I do." Those words, whether spoken in a living room or captured in a recording, have become the fulcrum upon which supporters and skeptics now weigh the couple's future. On social media, the reaction split into immediate camps. Some followers celebrated the chance for renewal, convinced that love, when sincerely cultivated, can reform and mature. Others warned against an emotional relapse, urging that memory and dignity carry weight in any decision to reunite. One recurring sentiment read, "Second chances require new foundations, not recycled gestures." Those lines, written by attentive fans, have framed the debate as much as any leaked audio or staged photograph. While supporters parse intention, the legal fact remains simple and stark. No petitions, no separation filings, no courtroom timetables. The lawyer's disclosure went beyond negation, it offered an affirmative path. The pair are reportedly considering structured avenues of reconciliation, including therapeutic consultation aimed at addressing the wounds that precipitated their rupture. For many observers, this is a marker of seriousness. Therapy, they insist, is a language of commitment rather than a convenience for optics. Subtle signs have emboldened hopes of a genuine reweaving of ties. Observers saw Halil leaving a bookstore with a volume on mindful partnership tucked under his arm, a small, easily mocked detail for tabloids, but for insiders a signal of intentional learning. Sıla, meanwhile, has posted phrases online that read like sentries on a guarded heart, meditative captions suggesting that staying can be courageous and that truth matters more than haste. Those public traces are feeding narratives that both comfort and confuse. Are they coded messages for each other, or simply solitary acts of reflection? Even more potent than photographs or certain captions has been a purported leaked audio from the private meeting. In that clip, authenticity debated, provenance murky, Sıla's measured voice warns against a return that would reproduce former harms. If she were to come back, it must be gradual, explicit, and contractual in its emotional terms. Halil purportedly replies with a promise of pacing, to follow her rhythm rather than impose his, to replace insistence with presence. If genuine, such exchanges suggest a recalibration toward consent and patience rather than urgency and control. Not everyone greets these signals with optimism. Many friends of the couple emphasize that Sıla is worn down, the repeated cycles of tension have exhausted her reserves. She's surprised by the change, but the wounds are real, said one confidant. The same source noted that Halil's recent visibility at charitable gatherings and his adoption of contemplative practices, meditation in public parks, attendance at coaching sessions, cannot, on their own, erase the history of strain. Rebuilding, critics remind us, requires a constellation of consistent acts over time, not episodic displays. Public discourse has not left the matter to private hands. Relationship specialists have been invited to pundit panels to opine. A clinical psychologist appearing on a popular morning program emphasized this point: restoration is possible when both parties are accountable and willing to adopt different relational scripts. Therapy, the specialist underscored, is not a theatrically tidy cure but an arduous collaborative practice that can recalibrate power dynamics, communication, and empathy. Within this human drama lies a complex interplay of performance and reality. Celebrities navigate not only their private pain but the commerce of public perception. For Sıla and Halil, the stakes are dual: personal reconciliation or closure and the management of professional reputations. The couple's choices will ripple across casting decisions, brand endorsements, and public trust. Some industry watchers argue that a public, staged reconciliation could rebound negatively. Others believe that a sincere, documented journey to healing could become influential. A rare example of responsible celebrity behavior. Amid speculation, small acts continue to speak loudly. Eyewitnesses reported seeing Sıla entering the building associated with Halil after hours, a move the press surmised either as clandestine or simply necessary for private conversation. Halil's reported attendance at emotional coaching sessions has been variously dismissed as image-tending or hailed as meaningful work. Either way, the optics have shifted. What once resembled a definitive split now looks like an agonized negotiation of terms under the watchful eyes of an impatient public. This is a story that asks us to confront the human appetite for closure versus the capacity for repair. Would you, reading this, counsel a person to return to a tested love on the grounds of potential growth? Or to keep distance as a form of self-preservation? We want to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment below. Share your reasoning, and engage respectfully. Your responses help us shape future coverage. Before we proceed, a gentle reminder to support our work: subscribe to Mr. Magazine, press the join button to receive exclusive content, and drop a like if you appreciate thorough, empathetic reporting on the personal lives of public figures. Your participation sustains our investigations and gives voice to the communities we represent. As the saga unfolds, the central question remains stubbornly simple. Will this be a deliberate, patient restoration founded on mutual accountability, or a dramatic, temporary resumption doomed to relapse? For some observers, the lawyer's intervention, and his refusal to categorize the matter as divorce, is a legal and rhetorical lifeline, permitting both actors latitude for discretion while the personal work proceeds. For others, the absence of a public contract or formal plan is insufficient. Healing, critics insist, requires clearer structural commitments. Whatever path they choose, the narrative offers lessons on vulnerability, responsibility, and the bewildering complexity of adult love. Two people who once shared intimacy and dissonance now navigate a fragile corridor between reunion and release. Their next moves will undoubtedly be scrutinized, dissected, and debated, but perhaps the most humane response from onlookers is patience, an allowance for private labor to occur without premature verdicts. This is Mr. Magazine bringing you the latest chapter in a romance that refuses to be simple. Will Halil and Sıla reconstruct a new covenant of trust, or will their exchange become the final, sorrowful coda to a beloved story? Only time, and consistent action, will tell. If this piece spoke to you, support our channel, subscribe, smash that like, and if you want more in-depth coverage and exclusive clips, tap join to back independent reporting. Tell us in the comments. Do you believe in deliberate second chances? Which Turkish celebrity couple should we investigate next? Your suggestions guide our headlines. Thank you for reading. We'll watch every step and bring you updates the moment the curtain lifts again.